For many survivors of traumas, it's easier to develop self-hatred rather than learning about yourself. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sama. I'm a registered counselor, a relationship coach, and an inner child coach. And today I want to talk about how hating yourself is actually a traumatic response. Let's be honest. Do you dislike things about yourself? Do you look at yourself and you don't love the person you see in the mirror? Do you have a bad relationship with your body? If you do, then this video is for you. To start with, this means you're struggling with deep-rooted traumas, with the inner child, and also it means you're developing coping mechanisms because you don't want to face your traumas in a way, or what you have been through. When we say coping mechanisms, we're actually referring to your ability to find something that's usually not very healthy and use it as a way to protect yourself from traumas from the wounded inner child and to neglect your feelings and emotions. And today, I really have something to share with you. I want to share with you some harsh advice for people who hate themselves. It's usually self-hatred. It's usually what we call a reaction. It's a defense mechanism to protect yourself from being vulnerable or being your authentic self because you don't like your authentic self. So it becomes a defense mechanism. And when you hate yourself, what you do, you distance yourself from what's important to you. You actually move away from the here and now, and you go into survival. You could develop further or more unhealthy coping mechanisms like attracting the wrong relationships, settling. And you notice when you don't have acceptance and peace within yourself, the minute you wake up in the morning, you feel it's like this heaviness in your chest. You feel pain. And that means healing is needed. You know, think about it this way. I don't think anyone starts hating themselves out of nowhere. And in most cases, it's when we talk about self-hatred, it's actually a response or a reaction to a traumatic event. We have to have a great sense to make sure we understand what's going on for us. And usually when a traumatic memory happens, what we do is we want a justification. But dealing with traumas alone, in most cases, you couldn't make sense of it. You couldn't make sense of why you attracted the wrong relationships, why your childhood wasn't the greatest, why you have a wounded inner child, why you struggle with abandonment. You can't make sense of it. And in return, what you do, you turn that blame towards yourself. And this is when we develop self-hatred. Does it make sense, ladies? let me know in the comments. And usually what you do, you use it as a coping mechanism because you're worrying about bad things happening to you again, or you making a mistake again. And instead of seeing what happened as outside of your control, you see it as a lot to do with you, and you're always going to make mistakes. So what you do, you protect yourself by hating yourself. And just because you can't make sense of something doesn't mean it's your fault. You're worthy. It's okay to make mistakes. You're worthy of making mistakes. You're worthy of acceptance and knowing exactly that your trauma was not your fault. And this is when you start healing. This is when you start understanding that you're always enough. You're always been enough. And to heal, what I want you to do today is to start checking your resources. Track back. When did it happen? When did you start hating yourself? Was it due to your childhood and having a wounded inner child and not feeling loved and supported by your parents? Because if you don't know when it started, how can you move forward? How can you heal that wound? How can you move forward? So start reflecting. Was it due to mom and dad not being there emotionally? You started hating yourself? Is it due to mom and dad fighting? And as a child, you started hating yourself? Is it due to your partner not appreciating you, not making you feel like you're enough, and you started hating yourself? So let's track back when you developed this coping mechanism. And it has a lot to do with healing your inner child. It has a lot to do with reparenting your inner child. It has a lot to do with being able to heal by using evidence to love yourself. Because reframing and challenging is great, but is it enough? No, you need to start using more extreme techniques and tools to heal, like using evidence to reframe and challenge your negative thoughts. Go ahead, find evidence to why you're worthy. Practice being in the here and now. Heal your inner child. Reparent your inner child. Look at yourself in the mirror and see what's good about you. Because if you don't see what's good about you, how do you expect others to see it? If you expect others to see the good in you, then you're seeking validations, and that's not related to your authentic self. Grab a mirror right now. Look at yourself. What do you see? What's there to love about yourself? If you can't love it, what's there to accept about yourself? Acceptance is the key. And of course, nothing changes if nothing changes. It's about taking small steps. Today, grab a mirror. What's there to love about yourself? Even if it's one thing. Tomorrow, find another thing and continue. Consistency is the key, because the story you tell yourself is the one you believe. Start healing by looking at yourself, listing down what you love about yourself, what you're grateful for. Use evidence. Connect with your inner child. Connect to the here and now. Understand there's no threats around you, so there's no need to hate yourself. Before moving into loving yourself, you need to accept yourself. What's there to accept about yourself? Hold the mirror right now. Let me know in the comments. What's there to accept about yourself? Don't you think your inner child is worthy of healing? Let me know in the comments. If nothing changes, nothing changes. And you're in control of that change. Keep yourself accountable. Keeping yourself accountable is doing one thing each day to start loving yourself. Because no one outside of your being will live your life except you. Stop living for others. Live for yourself. Work with a therapist. Start healing your traumas. And reframe, challenge your negative thoughts. Use evidence. You got this, ladies. And if you need further support, contact me today. I'll be there to support you. Thank you all for watching. Share this with a friend, leave some comments, and like the video.